me say a special good morning to our listeners. Let me say a special good morning to our viewers. Welcome to today's edition of To The Point. I'm your host, GT. Welcome, one and all. Hope everyone is doing A-OK on this lovely Monday morning. For me, it's a lovely Monday morning. Hope everyone had a great weekend and certainly looking forward towards a productive week ahead for you. And it's today's edition as usual. You know what we do on a Monday. Of course, Mr. McPhail popping in with me this morning once again. And of course, hopefully as the morning progresses, we may, I'm not for certain, but we may have Mr. McIntyre popping with us via, of course, via the Zoom platform if time permits. Mr. McPhail, good morning, sir. How are you doing? Welcome.
Good morning, GT. Good morning to your listeners and viewers.
How was your weekend, sir?
It was very good. Very quiet. Very productive.
Yeah, I likewise. I had a very quiet to a point, but the productive part, it was also, I had lots done over the weekend, our focus conversation always is to make, life easier, especially for road users, by highlighting in some way or the other, some of the things that we see as regular road users ourselves, and what we pay attention to maybe sometimes those in authority may not be paying attention to it for various reasons, or they are paying attention but just hasn't gotten to that point yet. We have to give them that benefit of the doubt. Get that point. So in our intro chit chat this morning, I'm not sure if anything in particular you want to, jump into. Maybe, conditions out there around the Caribbean in terms of the weather patterning and so forth. If you want to jump into that before we get into our feature conversation this morning.
In terms of the weather, I noticed we've been getting quite a bit of rainfall in the last week or so.
Yes, that's so true.
As we keep saying, it's not over until
we get to the end of the month,
the end of November, and even then,
and that's not too far away anyway.
Yeah, it's next Sunday.
Yes,
but even then, we can expect anything happening with climate change, as it is.
Times has certainly changed a whole lot. Yeah?
Yes,
times has certainly changed a whole lot in terms of how the conditions are these days. It so happens that from time to time we see weather patterning just
changing
out of the norm
and out of the norm. Yes.
Yeah.
So we did experience a bit of rainfall last week, which I would say is a welcome.
Yes, welcome. Especially for farmers and so forth, who probably need that land or the soil.
Because we were really getting a serious dry spell. But
it's a bit of a mixture from time to time. Sometimes for 2 or 3 days at a time, we get no rain, and that sun is out there, the magnitude that is that, and we complain about.
It seems to come out with a vengeance.
Yes, and then for some reason, then the rain falls.
Yeah.
And sometimes I wonder which is that human beings prefer. Is we prefer the rain or the sun? Because we complain about both. You understand? All this rain falling, man, and then we complain. The sun is so hot. Maybe we should get some winter in the Caribbean. That probably a third.
And the thing about it is, November is supposed to be the wettest month in the year.
It should be.
Well, traditionally, that's how it's been. But in recent years, we've seen a change.
Times have certainly changed. Times has changed, and we're hoping for the best.
Yes,
we're hoping for the best. We haven't had any major, hurricanes touching this part of this lower part of the Caribbean that much for the season thus far.
No,
we haven't had anything major. We had a little most of our tropical conditions maybe pass through, gave us a little rain and stuff, but nothing major that would worry us. Jamaica, we know they're in the recovery stages right now.
Yes,
you understand, and I've been looking at some feedback from them from time to time via social media, and the devastation is pretty bad. It's pretty bad.
I do hope they can get out of it and soon.
Yeah. I mean, I know Mr. McIntyre is there. I'm not sure if he's going to be able to chime with us this morning. Probably could give us a little update in terms of what it looks like from his personal point of view, as we go along this morning. If he do get the time to chime, because I know he's there, being part of a team, of course, observing things over there in the meantime. So let's hope that is able to happen this morning, if it's possible. But as it stands, no. Traffic-wise, anything you want to locally been going on traffic-wise that you want to chime in on? Just in the buzz for now?
Well, the nightmare continues. The nightmare continues, if I may put it that way, along the Grand Anse route.
Yeah.
Although last week after our program, I don't know if our program was the impetus for them to...
Yes, we did have a bit of a conversation related to that.
And then an announcement was made. There was a press conference where the press was and the public was briefed in terms of traffic arrangements and so on. However, I don't know if it was not well thought out or well planned, because we found that the following day
it had to be reverted. You know, I wanted that to be one of our focus conversations as well, but since you brought it up, it came to me also in thinking about it in the same way as you mentioned, in terms of proper planning. Is it that individuals are sitting behind a desk, coming up with ideas and sending it to be implemented, without going through that thorough thought process of consulting in other individuals, you know, in terms of, could this actually work? I hope you get where I'm coming from. Could this actually work? If we do X or Y, could it actually work? And not just throwing out ideas or making plans for things to be done, and then it comes wrong and then we have to revert on it again. I think we have gotten to a stage and time in Grenada, in the world as a whole, where when these decisions are made, it's supposed to be made after things have been properly thought out properly, all the I's and T's are dotted, T's are crossed, I's are dotted, and you say, hey, we have look at this, we have probably gone through that particular roof and make sure that if we do this, it can work. You understand? Or not just implement something and then it can't work. And you know, sometimes basic consultation with individuals who uses the road. For instance, we saw the bus drivers and they've had to take strike action because of the same route decision that was made about the roof. You understand? And they were saying they were not part of the consultation in terms of what has been implemented.
And to be quite honest with you, bus drivers are not my favorite people, right? But they had some valid points.
Yes.
They had some valid points, because imagine you're living in the Stones in Grandans, for example.
Yeah.
Right? Or by Captain Harris area. And you need to get to town? No. How was it?
I think it was allowed. You were able
to go down.
Go down, but not able to come back.
Not able to come back. Right.
Come back, you have to go there.
So you're living in that area there, and you need to get to work. How would you get to work? Via public transport.
If you live in further down south, but then how would you? Then you will run come all around again.
You have to take a bus to go all around.
Yeah.
In order to get into town, which, I mean, some thought process should have been put into
that. That's what I'm saying. It felt like if someone sat behind a desk, make the decision and pass it down.
Yes.
Hey, let me do that and do that. And not thinking about the other intricacies between there. You understand? Not thinking about how is someone going to get from here to there.
Right.
And and that's where a little bit of brainstorming should have come into play there now with other individuals about planning this. I'm just suggesting we don't know the whole story.
Yeah.
But I'm just saying other individuals should have been in part of it in terms of brainstorming this and say, hey, this is what we should have done, or we could do it like this.
All right, GT. So that was done, right? And then we had the weekend.
Yeah.
We had Saturday, no work. Absolutely no work on that road. Sunday, no work on that road. In my view, wasted days.
Well, so we were supposed to have some fixing of those areas, at least a week ago.
In the area around CKs in Grandans, from the Limes to CKs. What we saw there, and it's still there today, Monday, was a trench was dug and not refilled or paved back.
Okay.
So the trench is there. You either go down in the trench, you cut your tire, or you wait until you're able to drive on the right-hand side of the road, which is the wrong side. So again, inconvenience and no thought was put into it.
You spoke last week about the Calvini area. Has any remedial work taken place on that at all?
On the weekend, I saw some chipstone being put into the trench.
Yes.
But that manhole that I spoke about that was dug is still there in the same position. All we have around it is a netting and a light at nights.
Okay.
And which, in my view, is not properly lit. But that's all that there is. So that danger is still there. The one at the bottom of Cocoa Hill, which was not a threat or inconvenience to anyone, that one is now covered.
Okay.
But the one lower down on the corner, a blind corner, is still there.
So I'm hearing you complaining, but have you been hearing complaints from other residents within the area in terms of that particular trench and so forth? Have you been getting feedback from other residents?
I've heard residents complain and other road users complain as well. And then we have the situation in Marion. From the Gospel Hall to an intersection in Marion, there's a no entry. So you cannot drive in that area, period.
Okay.
And that has been there for the last 2+ weeks. I don't know how the residents there are making it. Right? But I'm just saying. So you have the St. David's buses who are using that because of the cliff project. They can no longer use that. The residents there can no longer pass. And everybody seems to be just taking their time. So we have very little night walk taking place, and the weekend walk, forget it.
So this is what it leads to where you will say a no good situation. It's a no good situation.
Even that cliff project, Chiti, we don't want to pong Nawasa too much, but even the cliff project.
This is 2 years plus, right?
Right. On the weekend, I see no activity there. Weekend. When you should utilize the weekend because of the less traffic on the road.
Is it a case where workers decided taking the weekend off, or the contractor decided taking the weekend off?
I don't know what it is. I don't know what it is, but on weekends when the work should be pushed, and even at nights. You have lights, proper lights now in Grenada.
It seems to be something in terms of what contractors are not gravitating to a whole lot in
the nighttime
work.
Yes.
Not gravitating a lot. There are some who do it, but I seem it's not something they gravitate to a lot. It seems like we as Grenadians, I say we.
Yes.
we don't like 8 to 4. 8 to 4. Just give us that 8 to 4 always. Everything we want to do. Yeah. And I complain about the heavy equipment, something moving during the course of the daytime.
Yes.
Let's do it that time, because someone did mention last week, what you said, I don't think is a good example that it has to be moved by a particular time. But I'm saying there are times when the traffic is less on the nation's roads.
Yes.
It gives you opportunity to move faster because there's less traffic to interact with you on the road. You could get it done at that time.
The heavy equipment could be moved at 5 o'clock in the morning.
Yeah. I say at midnight. I say at midnight yes. too.
Yeah.
No longer are the roads back in the day where there are no street lights and so forth. There are lots of that around the island. We're not complaining about that.
No.
That is not a problem anymore. Dark areas, was it? You understand? That is not a problem. Mm-hmm. So it could be done at night. Mm-hmm. You understand? But still not done. We like that 8 to 4 work.
Yes.
So McPhail, we do for a break. When we come back, there's a subject matter I want us to touch on. And when we come back, and of course, we get into other bits and pieces of the conversation. Stay with us, folks, to The Point Classic Radio, GBN TV. We will be right back. Stay with us. Don't touch your dial.
Invest with confidence.
Come one, come all, it's your time to rise. A new chance to make your future bright. You can start with 500, you see, and watch your money grow securely. Go more saving small and put it long. Now you can invest and feel strong. Safe returns you can trust. ECCU retail bond. For all of us, invest a little, grow a lot. Financial freedom starts with what you got. Invest a little, grow a lot. Financial freedom starts with what you got.
For more information, visit ECCURetailBond.com. Opportunity ends in 21st November 2025.
Ladies and
of Education and the Division of Culture proudly presents Christmas Harmony 1.0, the inaugural primary school carol singing competition. Join us on Friday, December the 5th at 1 p.m. at the Grenada Trade Center. Magical voices, festive spirit, and exciting competition await. Tickets, adults $10, children $5. Christmas Harmony 1.0. No better place to be. Be there.
Grenada! Get ready to celebrate culture, creativity, and community. It's the Kamahon Folk and Buy Local Festival happening on Friday, December 5th to Sunday, December 7th at the Sates Bus Terminal in St. Patrick. Friday, December 5th will be the opening night with prayers and worship. Then feel the rhythm ride with theater performances. On Saturday, December 6th, it's Market Day and cultural celebration in Sates. Come celebrate our roots with Asaraka. Sunday, December 7th, it's the grand finale. Folk celebration. We close the festival with pure culture, the rich traditions that makes us who we are. So mark your calendars. Friday, December 5th to Sunday, December 7th. Sates Bus Terminal, Kamahon Folk and Buy Local Festival. This event is brought to you by Ministry of Tourism, Creative Economy and Culture
in partnership with the Ministry of Foreign Affairs, Trade and Export Development.
Welcome back, listeners. Welcome back, viewers, once again. It's To The Point, Classic Radio, GBN TV. Mr. McPhail, welcome back, sir. So I want to touch on a subject matter. I may not want to spend too much time of it, but it's becoming a bit of a concern. We're talking about road users right now. And to say drivers who are driving on the nation's roads without a proper class of license. I'm wondering if the authorities are looking into that. For some reason or other, we see a lot of younger individuals riding those scooters and so forth on the road at crazy speeds. Are the traffic department looking at that? You understand? Because it continues to happen. Individuals, from time to time we hear folks complain about individuals who are sort of souping up their engines, as we would say locally. You understand? And will drive on the nation's road. If you turn your car from regular to a sports mood car, I don't think it should be driving on the road regularly. Yes. You understand? So now you have this loud exhaust and all these things that are making noise. And then you want to drive it on the road 2-3 o'clock in the morning. Yeah. With these loud exhausts and rev the engine and stuff forth, which is no longer designed for the regular road use, if in my opinion.
It's for
It's now made for off-road use or for some arena which we don't have in Grenada to offer. I mean, I don't know what your thoughts on that. And if the authorities are looking into that, we heard yesterday one of our senators were hit by a motorcycle. You understand? And it's because of individuals not having license, not insured, and they think, well, it's easier for me to do it on a weekend. Is the traffic department taking a time off on a weekend? You understand? Because I may think if I don't have the right license, then maybe I should drive on a Sunday when there's less police on the road. Right. You understand? Yeah. So maybe they have to rethink the whole things, how things are done. Because individuals are thinking too. You understand? Your thoughts on those statements?
GT, I fully agree with you. As a matter of fact, I did raise the concern about these loud exhausts already.
Yeah.
Maybe here or on some other program, where these guys change their mufflers, you know, and so it's, like you rightly said, it's not for the
regular road usage,
right? And in addition to the loud exhaust, they've also turned their cars into discotheques, where they have no back seat. They cannot offer anybody a ride because the back seat is just full of speakers. They can't put anything in their trunk because of speakers. And again, they pass very late hours at night playing the loud music, you know, in residential areas. And they're not concerned about it. And nobody is saying anything about it. Traffic department is doing nothing, absolutely nothing about these loud news?
I mean, from time to time you hear traffic department, they come on the program and folks may mention it to them and they say yes, it's been drawn to their attention. But we haven't seen no examples being made. Right. I think that's what the problem is. Yeah. If examples have been made, X has lost his car, maybe you've lost his license or something or the other, I think it's going to bring some kind of thought pattern to the other individuals. Hey, I'm not going to do that because I've seen what the consequences of my actions. And I think that's what the problem is. No examples has been made to these individuals who are doing it. So we continue to do it.
Continue to do it, yeah. You
understand? And then I always say things in Grenada are allowed to fester and spoil before we try to fix it. So then it degrades to such a low level that we can't fix it.
Can't fix it. Right. And I notice a new trend is developing in Grenada as well, in terms of bicycles, e-bikes.
Yes.
Some of them actually have motors on them.
Are they supposed to be licensed?
That's what I'm coming to. No number plates on them, no license plate on them. So it means that they ride on the road illegally, in my view. I don't know what is traffic's position, but
because it's something that's now is semi-motorized, right?
Yes.
You're right.
Yeah. Right. Mm-hmm. And so you have the e-bikes, you have scooters, not these sort of how you call it, mopeds or whatever, and nobody seems to be paying any heed to it or doing anything about it.
I just brought it up because it's always seemed to be a concern to me. You understand? I per se, I know individuals, I know or seen individuals who I don't want B-class license on a driving vehicle of classes that they're not supposed to be driving.
But again, persons had the opportunity
to upgrade and so forth. Folks maybe didn't go through that process. But it just becoming a concern. That's why I'm saying serious examples has to be made.
Set.
You understand? And nothing has been done about it. This is no way, we're not coming here to bash the police or anything or the traffic department. We're not bashing, but I just think the magnitude of vehicles on a nation road today, something needs to be cracked down for folks who are doing things illegally on the road. In a really, really serious way. Something needs to be done.
Otherwise, it would get to a point where
it becomes uncontrollable.
Yeah.
Uncontrollable, and where it becomes to that state where it's lawlessness is going to just pop in for some reason, and then some kind of drastic decision could have to be made. Then you go see folks may want to rebel against it. People, I've been allowed to do that. When folks are allowed to do things for so long, right, they feel it becomes a norm and a custom for them. So why are you trying to stop me now?
Yes.
You understand?
Yeah.
Why are you trying to stop me now? Because I've been doing that for so long. But I really think something seriously needs to be done about that. So I just thought I'd bring that to the fore this morning, and so that the authorities should seriously look into it.
Certainly agree.
You understand?
Like I said, the e-bikes, for example, some of them have motors on them, and they have no license plate. So,
I see them too from time to time, but I never really put the attention into that you mentioned. Yeah. And then you see some of them are ridden at excessive speeds.
Oh, well, yes.
You understand? Yeah. Because now it's motorized to a point, so there is less energy on whoever is using the bike because it's motorized. They don't have to pedal that or pedal it up per se. So it's not motorized to a point, it's powered. And it's going at excessive speed. I see them early mornings. I use the road at early mornings, and I see them from time to time moving in early mornings, individuals riding, and they are excessive speed. Maybe there's not a lot of traffic, I understand, but they're moving through the road really, really fast, beyond even the speed limit that they should go at. You understand? So I just thought we'd bring that to the fore this morning. I'm probably going to open the lines and get other feedback from our listeners and viewers between the time when we get to that particular segment of the conversation this morning.
Yes. Yeah.
Because if we don't start nipping these things really early, and I think it has gotten to a stage of worry now. Maybe it was just we watching it from time to time, but then when you get to a stage of worry, it's when it starts bothering individuals. I would say that sometimes I never used to put a lot of attention to these things, but it just got into a stage where I think, hey, we know there are young children who use the roads and so forth, and these individuals with their careless way of doing things could become a problem.
And the thing is, some of these bikes are also ridden by non-nationals, not only Grenadians. Non-nationals are also riding these bikes on
but the individuals who have these but I think some kind of license agreement may have been made. I'm just suggesting. You understand? Maybe some license agreement may have been made in terms of the bulk use of it. You understand? Because we see them bulk use. I think there's an individual who have them in bulk.
Right, but then even if it's in bulk, you have vehicle rentals, for example. It's in bulk. An arrangement is made in bulk, but each individual vehicle has a license plate. And in terms of, let's say, an accident, if one of these bikes bonks your vehicle, what's the license plate? How can you track that vehicle, that bicycle?
That's concerning also. That's a bit concerning.
So yes, you may have a group arrangement, but individual. I'm speaking specifically about the
individuals who have them for their personal use. Yeah, and just using them just like that.
Yeah. The group there's an individual who rents these bicycles, right?
So I'm assuming they probably have some agreement with the traffic and so forth.
But the individual users. That's our concern.
Is it just brought in and used as a regular bicycle, as we say it? But that one is now powered. Powered to a point. Yeah. Powered. So, all right. Let's take a little break. When we come back, we get into, of course, one of our feature conversations this morning when we come back. Okay. Stay with us, folks. To the point. Classic Radio GBN TV. We'll be right back. It's a short break. Don't touch it dial.
The Grenada Electricity Services Limited advises that on Wednesday, 26th November 2025, our customer care centers at Bruce Street Mall and Dusty Highway Grandans will be open from 8 a.m. to 11 a.m. Our Grenville branch will be closed for the day. This closure is to facilitate a staff meeting. We apologize for any inconvenience caused.
This holiday season, let the Monica Benoit Wonderland of Lights lead the way to Christmas at the Point. Starting November 30th, the Quarantine Point Recreational Park transforms into a glowing wonderland with dazzling light displays that are the true showstoppers of the season. Take a magical tuk-tuk tunnel ride through twinkling arches. Explore Santa's grotto, cozy up with a picnic blanket under the stars, and savor delicious eats from local vendors. Entry is just $5 for walk-ins, $10 per carload, and $20 for premium carload parking. Plus, grab a cozy picnic blanket for only $40 and enjoy the season in style. Special pricing applies for New Year's Eve. Visit our Instagram or Facebook pages at Rotary Club of Grenada Events for more details. It's holiday fun for the entire family every night from 5 p.m. till midnight, and it all supports the charitable work of the Rotary Club of Grenada. Christmas at the Point. When the sun sets, the wonder begins. Mark your calendars. It all begins November 30th.
Do, re, mi, fa, sol, la, ti, do. Do, ti, la, sol, la, mi, re. The reason why I think our school can win is because we have a lot of potential and a lot of good singing voices. I think my school will win the competition because we have a lot of talent. I think we can win this competition because we have a lot of great singers.
I think we can win this competition because we always try our best.
Grenada, get ready! GBN and the Ministry of Education presents Christmas Harmonies 1.0. The inaugural primary school choir singing competition, December 5th, 1 p.m. The Grenada Trade Center. 15 schools, magical voices, and fierce competition. Cheer for your favorites in categories like overall champion, most creative, best solo, and best group. Entrance adults $10, children $5. Don't miss the holiday magic. Christmas Harmonies 1.0, where Grenada's brightest and youngest voices shine. Be there.
I don't want a lot for
Welcome back, listeners. Welcome back, viewers. Once again, it's To The Point Classic Radio, GBN TV, Monday, the 24th of November, 2025. Welcome back, Mr. McPhail. Welcome back once again. Of course, you've been pondering on road use for a wee bit this morning. You really wanted to jump into the how folks use the roads and how road users and the importance of that. I'm going to give you the opportunity to feature what you wanted to bring to the fore this morning as we move along in this segment.
Well, GT, it's been a while I've been observing pedestrians. Mm-hmm. And over the weekend I saw it even more. Persons would be walking with their back to the traffic. Now, I was taught, and I still have it in mind, that you walk facing the traffic at all times. So you're jogging or you're walking, you face the traffic, the oncoming traffic.
Yeah.
You don't give the back to you. The other thing I've been looking at as well, some of them have on headphones and they're walking again with their back to the traffic. So you toot your horn, they would not hear you because they have music on and they just go in a merry way.
Sometimes you are all the way on the other side and you can actually hear those headphones played by the individual. I suddenly
and not just those like the plugs. Some of them have the actual full headphones.
I suddenly noticed that. You're correct about that.
Yeah. And that to me is very concerning. And again, I believe that maybe the traffic department or maybe an insurance company or somebody should undertake having programs, television programs, to feature the do's and don'ts for pedestrians. Yeah. Not just drivers, but pedestrians also need to be aware of their surroundings and so on.
I agree with you with that, because now it becomes a problem for drivers on the road, for instance, in terms of, you mentioned insurance companies, and then a thought come to mind in relation to that. Someone with their hearing impaired now because of the fact that they're wearing headphones. A driver is driving using the road, didn't hear when the toot, he probably wanted to overtake or something, and that individual, their hearing is impaired because that loud, which could be a cost for the insurance company per se. So having individuals, re-educating, especially pedestrians. Because we focus a lot on drivers, you understand? Yes, yeah. That's another problem all by itself. But, as you mentioned, the pedestrians, it's something that we should really look into. With the magnitude of traffic on the road today and the way sometimes individuals use the road. Sometimes somebody give the impression that bunks me now. You understand how they use the road. I certainly agree with you. I agree with you with that. I
remember stopping one time and speaking to a young man because he had the headphones on, could not hear me, and instead of taking an advice, turned around and cussed me.
You speak of the headphones, but you notice a new trend that is going on where you folks are buying these little Bluetooth boxes.
Oh.
And have it on their side or in their bag or something and playing it at a loud level. Mm-hmm. You understand? And walking the street, not hearing vehicles coming because it's on their side, and sometimes it's impairing your hearing, of course, because it's so loud you may not even hear a vehicle engine. We have different type of vehicle now. Sometimes vehicles are driving.
That's the other thing as well.
You're not even hearing
these electric and hybrid. You can't hear them.
You're not hearing them.
Yeah.
And you are walking the street with these little Bluetooth boxes playing at that loud level. You understand? That is another concern. What are some of the recommendations you would like to throw out, especially, for road users who are doing that, sir?
Well, like I said, a number of probably television programs, ads or so, or little, what they call them, reels on social media to re-educate persons or educate persons on the proper use of the roads, even though they are pedestrians. Pedestrian crossings too. They figure that once they get on a crossing, it's a cross, and that's not correct. So I think a series of programs should be developed, and these ads be played
On a regular basis. I mean, sometimes we at GBN probably could develop one on our own. You understand, to help bring that new new thinking pattern for individual. So in terms of how they use the roads, because sometimes individuals get a tendency to forget how they use the roads. You understand? Because what is thrown out to them these days is not how to use roads most of the time.
Yeah.
You know, we don't get that. We hear companies, may do a commercial or a promo telling you to buy a car. You understand? But sometimes these companies could have promos trying to educate road users also.
Yes.
Especially pedestrians. Compliments whoever particular automotive dealer there is over there could say proper use of the roads. Yeah. Insurance companies could take it upon themselves also to have these promos done to help into road users also, especially pedestrians. That we focus a wee bit this morning on pedestrians. So I certainly agree with you with that. Because I think there's lots more education that folks need in terms of road use. And sometimes what I worry about too is not only children, youngsters we worry about, because sometimes we see adults,
yes,
who I think should know better. Should know better.
And I think in most cases they know better, but they just refuse to practice what they know.
Sometimes we see adults, sometimes we blame young people a whole lot, but sometimes we see adults who are doing it. And then, they say children follow what they see. They see from, I'm seeing Mr. This, or I'm seeing GT, or I see Mr. McPhail using the road like that, so maybe I can do it too. I understand. So it's something that should be really, really thought about.
And again, like we said earlier, we have vehicles now that you cannot hear.
Exactly.
Right? So before you know it, a vehicle is right on you. Especially the hybrid and the electric vehicles.
Yeah. I mean, I'm seeing someone via our WhatsApp is saying, yes, I don't disagree. It's played here from time to time in terms of we had a promo on TV where we're showing people how to use a pedestrian.
Yes,
I think there's one, I see that. But that's one that's been out there for a wee bit. After you see something a couple of times, you pay a little attention to it again because you sort of know what it's about. So I think always doing it in a new way, bringing across the whole idea of it in a new format, could refresh the minds of individual. You may see it shown on the TV, and I'm not saying it's not a good promo. It is, but it could be done in a revamp it in a particular way that will attract the audience in a different way now. Just to keep that message coming at them from time to time.
Well, I saw something the other day, and it still baffles me the way people think. On the Carnage, police headquarters, there's a pedestrian crossing there. Yeah. 2 young ladies dropped from a granddaughter's bus.
Yeah.
And they stand up right by the bus stop waiting on the traffic so they could cross. And there's a pedestrian crossing to cross safely.
So why weren't they using the pedestrian crossing?
I don't know. So it brings me back to the point that I think the police needs to start charging some of these pedestrians.
You keep mentioning the jaywalking and stuff like that. And I said that, it goes back to what we said, examples are not being made for a lot of things in Grenada. Folks may not like us here saying it in that way, but if examples are made, folks are going to start thinking different and doing things different.
Yes.
Especially when it comes to road use in Grenada today. And we're talking across the board. If examples are made, folks are going to do things totally different.
I certainly agree.
All right. We're moving up to 15 minutes before the top of the hour, and in this segment we're going to entertain a couple of calls and of course give listeners and viewers opportunity to who want to chime in on today's conversation. It's definitely a conversation that need to be had on a regular. Keep refreshing the minds of individuals as related to these things. Let's go to the phone line. Our first caller. Caller Live, good morning and welcome.
Hi, good morning to you, and very interesting program.
Good morning to you.
This whole matter of pedestrian safety, it's something I learned in primary school about when I was about 5-6 years old. We used to have a police officer come into the schools. But the problem right now, even the police officers, they don't seem to know it. Because I walk the road on mornings, and there are times when they have the new recruits, and one morning I had to ask them if they suddenly become automobiles when they join the police force because they're driving on the left side. 60 of them in the middle of the road to the left. And one day when I asked the instructor, why don't they walk on the correct side of the road? He asked me, is there a correct side of the road? Could you imagine the training the police? Then I subsequently met one of the guys who were trained, and he said he just finished all his rounds and his rotations. And I was asking if he did traffic. He said, yes, I did all my rotations. Now I'm deployed. And I asked him, so which is the correct side of the road to walk? And he didn't know. So it seems that even the police officers do not know that it's the correct side of the road to walk. So it's a problem. And I was walking again on Saturday morning, and there was a young lady with a huge dog, and she was on my side of the road, and I would not give in to her. There is no way. She had to step into the road because she was keeping left. But if she was keeping right with that dog, which I don't even know how it has priority on in pavement anyway, or sidewalk. If she was keeping right, then it means anybody on her side would either be ahead of her or behind her. And she wouldn't have to interact with that person. That's why I said to people when they're walking, I said, if you keep on your side, you won't collide with anybody else moving in the other direction. Mm-hmm. They'll be either ahead of you or behind you. So it simplifies a lot of things. But I don't know. If the police officers and those who are training them don't understand that there is a correct side of the road for walking, well, how do we get it changed? Right. It's a problem.
Thank you, sir. I'll be doing another caller via WhatsApp. WhatsApp caller, you're live. Good morning, welcome.
Hello, yes. Thanks for having me, and good morning, everyone.
Good morning.
Good morning. For educating us. I think, though, that there is a hard reality. It's fine to talk about theories and which side of the road to walk on, and I think it's very important that we be educated about that. However, in life, we have to sometimes improvise. Unfortunately, we are having development. Well, I should say, unfortunately, incidentally, we've been in the 21st century. We are having 21st century development, shopping malls. You see commercial buildings and so on stretches of next to stretches of road that in the past did not have such buildings, and some of the buildings are 2-3 stories high and so on, and we are trying to use an infrastructure which has not undergone much changes. The infrastructure we have, if you look back at vintage photos, probably before we were even born, the infrastructure has not changed significantly. But during the 19th century and 18th century, and even the earlier part of the 20th century, we did not have all those vehicles on the road. We did not have all the buildings. Look at the shopping malls. I remember being in Granan's area and so on in the 1990s and so on. We did not have the shopping malls and all this traffic flow and pedestrian crossing and so on and so on. And so things were not that much amplified, but now we have those things, but the infrastructure remains stagnant and there's not much room for improvement. You talk about walking on the correct side of the road. If I'm going south from Wall Street to Sugar Mill, then I walk on the right side of the road. It just so happened that side of the road has a sidewalk. If I'm moving north from Sugar Mill to Wall Street, there's no sidewalk. And there's, and it's dangerous. It may be dangerous to walk there. But that will be if I follow quote unquote the rule and I walk on the right side of the road. That's where I should be walking because I'll face oncoming traffic. But then it's dangerous to me because there's no place to walk there. So what do? I walk on the opposite side where there is a sidewalk. But then I can't face oncoming vehicles, so it's a damn if you do, damn if you don't. And it's fine I think the public need to be educated because there are certain things which are within our direct, I'm choosing the word very cautiously, direct control. There are certain things, however, a lot of things which are not within our direct control and maybe not even our indirect control. It has to do with vision for the future. And unfortunately, our infrastructure is not up to date with the kind of development we have and the kind of vision for development that we have. So we have to take that into consideration. I'm sorry. Take care.
Thank you, caller. Thank you so much. And the caller's right to in terms of what
GT, I certainly agree with the caller, but in the cases where you have a sidewalk, I think this sidewalk should be utilized.
Yeah.
And in that area he spoke about specifically, there's a sidewalk there and people use it both ways. Going, yeah.
We have another caller. Yes. Good morning.
As far as I'm concerned, we have people that have been placed in position, as they say, to educate people. Bear in mind, I put in education in a bracket and I underline it. And when we talk about education, people believe that we should have only 40 CXC and don't know how to behave with people, how to accommodate people, and only the CXC or the university certificate or whatever it is could encourage us to do the right thing. But as far as I'm concerned, we're taking wrong people to do jobs because they might have 20 CXC and yet they do not have good manners. They are not educated. They have academic qualification. As I've always say that education means fit to live and fit to live with. In fact, I heard some of those points that I've already made, that you should never give the traffic your back. You should always face the oncoming traffic. I always say that some of the policemen are educating the people. You cannot see some of the drivers in the highly tinted vehicle. And even now, as many people have said, this modern vehicle, where you could hardly hear them, then we are at a risk in Grenada. People want to cross the pedestrian crossing without even, they don't have to make no communication to me. Once you're on the pedestrian crossing and you stand up, not on the pedestrian crossing, on the side of the pedestrian crossing, the driver should know, underline the word should, that you intend, underline the word intend. So you have no right to be standing on.
Guess we lost the caller there. But I did get a gist of what the caller is trying to say.
Yeah, I got a gist as well.
What he's trying to say.
And there are times that you see persons standing on the side of the pedestrian crossing. You stop to let them cross, and then they will tell you, no, I'm not crossing.
Yeah.
But you're standing there. You shouldn't be there. And some of them, when you tell them about it,
I know it's abusive. That's another subject to deal together. Caller, your line. Good morning. Good morning, caller.
The concrete truck, a lot of concrete dropping on the road and making the road look like if it's big hole over there. That is all I can say for it.
All right, thank you, sir. Thank you so much. The use of the road is important. Is what we have for walking. The condition there it is. As you said, as one of the caller mentioned, our infrastructure was designed, long time ago. Long time ago. It's not a modern designed infrastructure, I would say. So, but we have to change the trend in terms of how we use it. Yes. It has to. We do have another caller.
Hello.
Caller, your life. Good morning.
Good morning. How are you all?
Doing great.
Fine. Good morning.
Okay, I have a big problem. Every morning I go to the beach and I can't even cross the road, and those vehicles and them park on the sidewalk, and I have to go out in the road. That's a big problem. I call the traffic or whatever, and they didn't do nothing about that. They just park right on the sidewalk, more than one, and then I have to go out in the road, and the road is so busy, so you could always get knocked out. You could always get knocked down. Because every morning I go to the beach and I have a big problem for the road. I always have to watch back like if a thief, I'm watching back like if a thief something are looking suspicious, and it's really bad. I complain about that and nothing can do. More vehicle park on the sidewalk, more they do it. I have a big problem like in Anola in Grenada. I don't know what's going on. And I don't want nothing to knock me out, especially them Granans bus. They're very ridiculous. They're driving very fast. They don't even care about nobody who walk in the road. So guys, I have a big problem about that. Because I must go on the beach. I have to go on the beach.
Okay.
Yes.
Thank you, caller. Thank you, caller. Thank you so much. We do have another caller.
Okay.
Let's take another call and then we wrap up after this one. Caller, you live? Go right ahead, please, via WhatsApp.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning to Mr. McPhail.
Good morning.
I'll be very brief because most of what I have to say was already said. And I always believe you face the danger. So if the traffic is coming towards you, you face the danger. Never give it back to the traffic. Anyhow, I have a concern. It's going on a year since I think it's the same police officers that bungs on that traffic light by Farm and Garden in town. It is laying there. Up to last night, I take a closer look at it. It's laying on the ground there, and it is walking. I mean, come on, this is utter nonsense. It's ridiculous. This light they're going on a year since this store burned down in town, and they had the same fire tender hit that light. It down on the ground. They just buried, impeding on people walking on the sidewalk. You have to put yourself in the road on that corner there, where it have a portion of drain to get around that sidewalk by Farm and Garden. And this light just laying on the ground there, electrified. With power in it. This is utter nonsense. And if I were at bounce it down, I bet you my insurance company had to pay for it. But lo and behold, it's the same RGPF men that hit it, struck it, and put it down on the ground there. And it's laying there. Next month making it more than a year since it's on the ground there. Come on, where are we going in Grenada with this kind of behavior? Anyhow, I'll leave it there for now. Thank you.
Thank you, caller. And thank you so much for your contribution there this morning. Caller seemed to be a bit passionate in relation to that. Yeah. You know, it's a bit concerning in relation to that also. I have also noticed it. Yes. And when he spoke about the option of if you have to go,
you have to come into the
road in order to pass. Yes. You know, and that's a bit concerning there. That's very good.
Just in wrapping up, that caller, the previous caller, the lady who spoke about these vehicles on the sidewalk, parking on a sidewalk on the pavement is an offense.
Yes.
And in the area where she's referring to, there's one particular vehicle. Almost every day, the police will pass and clamp that vehicle, and they still continue to park there.
Well, isn't there a cost to the individual?
Yes, there is a cost. But every so often you pass, you see a clamp on the wheel, and it's parked on the sidewalk the following day again. I know the area, I know the caller, and I empathize with her, but like I said, it's an offense, parking on the pavement, and they continue to park. They get the clamp is removed, they move around, park again,
come back and park again,
and then they clamp them again.
Well, Mr. McPhail, is an interesting program this morning. I hope a lot of what we mentioned this morning will get to the authorities and we see something done about it.
Yes.
I mean, there's a program like this is just a way of sensitizing the authorities about things that needs to be taken care of. You understand? We talk about drivers who are driving without the appropriate class of license.
Yeah.
You understand? That needs to be looked into a lot. Folks who are, we have folks call about, folks still parking inappropriately. Hope that gets looked into a whole lot. And we have ways to just make a life
and the bicycles.
And the bicycles.
Yes.
You understand? Folks who are using those bicycles, are they supposed to be licensed or not? We certainly hope the traffic department will look into that if it's not something that they ever thought about before.
Yeah.
Because folks are using these motorized bicycles.
And again, it would be a means of revenue.
Yeah, money coming from that. Mr. McPhail, I want to thank you once again. It's always a pleasure having you on the program. We didn't get to chat with Sylvan this morning, I guess, for various reasons. He couldn't chime in with us this morning. Yes. But we certainly hope when he goes get opportunity one of these mornings, we'll be back again, hopefully next week.
Okay.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, too.
Hey, folks, that's where we take a wrap for today's edition of To The Point. Thank all who contributed to today's program. We appreciate it a whole lot. Join us again for another edition. That's where we say goodbye.